Welcome to the Bean and Jack podcast for Friday, October 16th, 2020. I know it's been a minute since we've done a podcast, so I guess I'll just start off by how are you doing, Jack? How has the semester been treating you so far?
It's pretty good. Excited that sports are back. CU started football practice last week. We're right around midterms, so that's been fun. Had a midterm today. It seems like every single sport's kind of like coming together right now. Like the NFL, NBA just ended, but Buffs basketball started on Wednesday, so excited that's all starting up again.
Yeah, especially with the Buffs and having tournament aspirations in basketball, just like last season. Obviously, they had the tough end to the season last year. What do you think of the team's prospects starting out for the 2020-2021 season?
I'm excited for Bartholomew. He redshirted last year, but this will be like technically his first time on the court. I know he's going to be good. I'm even more excited we had this like senior transfer, Jeremiah Horn. I think he transferred from like Tulsa, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I believe it was Tulsa.
Yeah, he's going to be really good. Also O'Brien, he's going to be good. I think the Buffs are kind of going more with like the big man type mentality, I think, moving forward. I guess Keyshawn's more of like a guard type player. Haven't really seen him play yet, but excited for that. The Buffs look pretty different this year, at least from what I've seen from the first couple of days of practice. But I know Deshaun Schwartz was on the media call yesterday, and he said that this class reminded him of the 2017 freshman class, which was like Wright, Bay, Schwartz, and Batty. So seems like we'll be pretty good this year.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's good that we're gonna go more big. I think that we kind of lacked physicality down the stretch last season. Having that's going to be huge for us. Just having more size in the front court, just against these other Pac-12 teams like Oregon, Arizona, is going to help us a lot.
Yeah, and getting Dallas Walton back on track too. He'll be a senior this year, so. And he kind of, he had a rough go of things last year, coming back from I think it was an ACL injury, but the leg brace is off, and we'll see if that helps him a little bit with mobility. But yeah, we need him to be good out in the paint because it can't just be Batty,
Yeah. Well, obviously Evan hopefully taking more steps and being one of the main leaders of this team. Obviously, you have McKinley Wright coming back for his senior season. How do you see this team stacking up in the Pac-12 this year?
I think we still have a lot of things to win it. I mean, yeah, we lost like a couple seniors last year with Gatling. Who's the other guy? The point guard. But we have probably one of the better freshman classes that we've had in the past few years, since 2017. Yeah, I think the youth will hurt us, but I think with the older guys like Schwartz, Wright, Batty, I think that'll kind of make up for it. And, they have so much experience now after like 2 consecutive years of, going right down to the wire. I'm still high on the Buffs. We got 5 really good seniors. I'm going to include Walton in that list too. I think he's going to have a good comeback year. It's kind of weird because it seems like the Buffs are like super senior heavy, and then like at least it looks like right now we're also like kind of like freshman sophomore heavy too, which is kind of strange, but I think that'll play well for us. It'll be a shortened season. I think they announced it'll be like 20 or 25 games. I think it was 20, and then women's was 22, something like that. Um, but yeah, I think that just puts a lot more pressure on every single game. We'll be starting out at Kansas State, little tournament there on the 25th, November 25th. Yeah, I'm excited for the season.
Yeah, same here. I mean, I don't know what they're doing with the Kansas game, but you just hope that somewhere down it was axed.
Yeah, that's what I heard at least. Mm-hmm. They
Um,
want fans to be there, you know.
yeah, for sure. And that's what I was saying is that like it's important for fans to be there for an atmosphere like that. And it sucks for all these seniors that they aren't gonna get that. Like McKinley Riking a home game against Kansas. Obviously, the last time they played, we had the buzzer beater and beat them when Andrew Wiggins was on their team.
Yeah,
Last year, we lost to them pretty handily, though. But
yeah, I don't think our chances would be much better this year. I still think last year's team is probably better, at least on paper. But yeah, I think that Tyler Bay is going to be a huge loss too. I saw he was working out today. I saw some video going around Twitter, but he's working on the 3-point shot. I'm not really sure what kind of player he's going to be in the NBA. It looks like he could be more of a shooter than he was in college. But yeah, at least, I mean, yeah, that Kansas game probably would have been a loss, but it was at home though, so you never know. But, at least it's one more, it's a difficult game that gets removed from the schedule. Maybe that's good for the Buffs in a weird way.
yeah, just so they can get that team chemistry, focus more on that instead of having to focus on like a super huge opponent. Because as the season progresses, you want the team to build that chemistry as you get into these harder conference games.
Mm-hmm.
So another team that will be playing a lot of conference games this year, or playing only conference games, is the football team, the CU Buffs football team. They start their season November 7th at home against the UCLA Bruins. Obviously, the quarterback position is vacant. Basically, it was left vacant by Steven Montez. So we have Sam Neuer, who played safety last year. We have Tyler Lytle, who's been with the team for a few years now. And then obviously true freshman Brendan Lewis. First off, it seems like this is going to come down to between Neuer and Lytle, at least for the first game. Who do you think has the upper hand at this point?
I'm going to go Lytle just because Neuer was at safety all of last year. I don't know. I don't think that plays well for him just because he had a whole year, not playing quarterback. And Neuer was he was about to leave CU. Like he was done. But the coaches convinced him to come back. And Lytle also being a junior. So maybe if he has a good year, then we can have him again as a senior. And if Neuer has a good year, we kind of play this game again next year. But I think Lewis does have a good shot to be the starting quarterback next year. We'll see how that plays. But Lytle had it was probably 5 total snaps last year, something like that. Not a whole lot. Neuer, he had similar playing time in 2018. I think he played a second half in when the Buffs played Washington State.
Yeah.
I remember that wasn't a pretty game. I think, Montez started and then Neuer came in and we were shut out the whole game, I think.
We scored it on our first possession. That was it.
Oh, that okay.
Yeah.
35-7, something like that.
Yeah, 31-7, I believe.
Okay. But I am kind of bummed that they're not giving Lewis much of a shot. I mean, what do you have to lose, I guess?
Yeah, I'm kind of in that same boat. I mean, just after the years of having to watch Steven Montez, I'm just ready for a dual threat quarterback to go in there and run more of a modern college football offense. Like Montez would just make some really bad decisions at times and never was really able to elevate the team to where it could have been, like if he had progressed the way that fans want him to from his freshman season when he goes up to Oregon and beats them.
Yeah. He kind of set the way.
And like we have those 2 wins against Nebraska too, but I don't know. I'm just ready for it to be fresh. I mean, I understand Lewis being a true freshman and everything. But
Little and Neuer aren't the definition of fresh, I would say.
yeah. So I don't know. I just hope at some point, if we aren't having the season we want to be having, near the end of the season, maybe give Lewis a shot in one of those last few games against Utah, maybe, or the 19th.
I would have thrown Utah. I don't want to throw him in against Utah, though. I don't know. I want to see how he plays against some, bottom of the tier Pac-12 teams. And that UCLA game would have been good, or Stanford, but I don't know, not anymore.
Yeah, but those are the games we start out the season with.
Yeah, I know.
Which I mean, like we could start the season out well, building off of last year where we have these home games. All our home games are close last year, but near the end we learned how to start to win a few of those.
Yeah.
And you're just hoping as a Buffs fan that kind of transfers into this season because the home games are against UCLA, Arizona State, and Utah. Arizona State and Utah are 2 probably in the upper echelon of the conference, except the Buffs have had Arizona State's number the past few years.
Mm-hmm.
You just want to see this team get off to a good start against UCLA.
Yeah. Got off to a good start.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Because that's a winnable game. Last year we didn't do as well against them. But I do think that is a winnable game on the road against Stanford, a team the Buffs actually beat last year.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's possible, but I would say that we're probably the underdogs. But like the thing this year is like with these road games against Arizona, USC, and Stanford, you just want to see this team be competitive on the road.
Yeah.
We had the win against ASU, and then our last 4 road games last year were absolutely awful. So,
yeah. One thing I am high on, though, is I guess other than the quarterback situation, we do have some good pieces around him with, we still got KD. Arias is going to have a good year, I think. And then our running game, which I don't think which really hasn't been talked about much the first week of camp, with Fontenot and Mangham. I think it'll be good to have those 2 solid pieces, in case the quarterback play isn't great. Yeah. And then defensively, I mean, I'm more worried about that. I know Darrell, he called out some of the, cornerbacks and safeties for not being physical enough. He said that they responded well as the first week of practice kind of closed. Mekhi Blackmon, I think, is going to be pretty good. But I think up front, excited about Mustafa Johnson. We're lucky to have him as a senior, and then Nate Lehman, of course, is going to be the leader of this defense at the linebacker spot.
For sure. And then I don't know what the situation is with Antonio Alfano at this point.
Yeah.
Obviously, he transferred to CU when Tucker was still the coach, and it seemed like he was going to be all in with Dorrell until he got in trouble, basically. And now his task is still kind of up in the air because you've just heard conflicting stuff about it. And
Dorrell was asked about it last week. I forget what he said. I think he missed most of what they were doing in the summer. I'll have to double check exactly what he said. But yeah, he was going to be another big freshman piece. Yeah, I think he was asked about it in the summer, Um, but yeah, he was suspended for a little bit. Violation of the team rules. So yeah, we don't, you gotta, be better as a 5-star recruit. I mean, um, I also want to see what Fonte Chenault does this year, though. I think he'll get some playing time. I saw he was practicing. 'Cause he'll be a sophomore, so we'll see if he can live up to LaVisca.
Yeah, they have to carry on the legacy. He has to carry on his brother's legacy.
Yeah, well, LaVisca didn't really do much his freshman year, from what I remember. I mean, he had a couple of big plays, I think, against some non-conference opponents, I believe, but really, like, sophomore year was like his breakout year.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah, so obviously a lot to be excited about with the Buffs and being able to watch them play sports again. Obviously fans won't be in attendance at least through January. That's what the Pac-12 said.
Mhm.
I don't know. It just was one of those things where as a conference in football, they probably aren't going to make the college football playoff.
No.
So it's so like you really want to like just rush this back and get like a super short season done with, or would you rather play in the spring when you could have fans at the games possibly, and do more of that type of thing? Which a part of me is glad that's going to be coming back in November, but there is going to be that part of me that's like, well, this is like one of the 4 years of like same with you, our college experience basically, and
Yeah.
it's getting stripped away from everyone. Um, it's understandable why it is just because of the circumstances, but it's still just one of those things that is frustrating because there's not really much that you can do about it. So
Mhm. Yeah. Um, I know at least like high school games in Colorado they're allowing like 175 fans per team, at least in some areas of the state. So I don't know. It's different at the college level though. And really, I mean, like, what's the point of having like 100 people there? I don't know. Um, but I know like the Broncos are allowing like what is it, like 5,000 something like that fans for their next
yeah,
home. Um, but yeah, the Pac-12 it just sucks because so many schools are in California and you can't even like you can't check the mail in California, so you're not going to go to a football game. Um, yeah, I think that's what kind of hurts the Buffs. But we're also seeing like in the SEC, like like Nick Saban tested positive, and like they're not doing great in the South right now. um, yeah, a lot of their games are like being canceled. Which will probably happen too in the Pac-12. But um, I know Darrell said that the Buffs haven't had any positive tests so far.
yeah,
So that's good. They're quarantining in a hotel.
yeah. It,
Um,
interesting that they're doing that just with the semester and everything.
yeah. Um, yeah. I'm gonna ask everybody you should read my piece in the CU Independent. I talked about the hotel-stricken Buffs. I also talked about the quarterback battle too in election camp 2020. Um, if you guys want to hear some more of my takes. But yeah, but I know the players did say that like just being forced to be in a hotel together for like 2 straight weeks is like really good for team chemistry. I know a few guys went out and said that. I think it was like Katie and I think Landman might have said that. I think on the first day of practice, but yeah, I know like playing sports growing up, I knew like team trips where you're you know forced to stay in a hotel together is always great for camaraderie.
For sure.
Mhm.
And another league that's struggling with uh, COVID cases, obviously the NFL.
Yeah,
This is just one of those things where, like it's good to be safe, but it just seems like the guidelines or whatever aren't like it's like, are they being strict or are they being lax? Like,
Yeah.
you can't really tell because, like, the Patriots have another COVID case today. So now, like, the game against the Broncos on Sunday is obviously in question now.
Yeah.
Not to the point where they've, like, said they are even considering moving it yet. But that's just the thing that frustrates me is, like, the Patriots had 2 cases. One of them happened last Saturday, so they couldn't play the game on Monday. This week it happens on Friday, but I guess for now they can still play on Sunday.
Yeah.
And it just, a part of me wishes they would have just moved the game midweek
Mm-hmm. Like
because
third,
like move it
like
to week 6 but move it midweek because I mean there was already the vacancy on like Thursday night with the Bills Chiefs game being moved. And I don't know, I felt like moving it to Sunday was a bit of a stretch that the league didn't necessarily have to do that. So
yeah. You think it should move farther or like yesterday?
I was saying it should have been played yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, before the positive test came out.
Yeah.
But
Well, I was saying that even before because it's like, well, now you have this vacancy and just move the game to week 6 if you're going to move it to week 6, but just have them play it Thursday.
yeah,
Just have them play it like as soon as possible once it seems like they have a string of days with 0 positive cases. But I mean, it's a fluid situation. It's just really hard to like pinpoint like what exactly they should do just because you have all these people with such differing opinions on it. I have my own opinion and feelings about it. So like, and plus it's frustrating because like the Broncos haven't played in more than 2 weeks now. And like they're following all the protocols and they haven't had any positive cases. So
nothing.
it's just frustrating that like the NFL's like they I don't know. I just wish that they would have had a different solution to the Broncos Patriots game than just making them play next week. I feel like they should have just moved the game entirely because the Broncos shouldn't have to be dealing with this stuff.
Yeah, but and I think Fangio was pretty pissed. But I don't know. It's kind of just out of their control, and you can't just play yourself. I mean, it's got to be like all 32 teams kind of cooperating.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you just I don't know. You just get it. You go to the grocery store, and I'm not saying that the Patriots didn't follow protocols. I don't know if there's been any evidence of that, but yeah, the Broncos just kind of get screwed. But it happens, and we saw this like at the beginning of the baseball season, like the Marlins, Cardinals, like a bunch of teams, had a bunch of positive tests early on, but then it was pretty smooth afterwards. So maybe
Yeah,
we'll
and
see.
that's another part of this whole thing that's frustrating me too, is that like people say these blanket statements about, oh, the NFL, blah, 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 didn't get this right. It's like the MLB had their struggles. They had teams that couldn't even play all 60 games.
Yeah.
So, and then today, Pat McAfee was saying on the Pat McAfee show that, like, well, to all the detractors out there, I think this thing has still gone relatively smoothly, even though you had the situation with the Titans and the Patriots. And I have to agree with that. I think it's a bit of a stretch to think that all of the games are going to get played this season, but overall, it seems like the players are adhering to what they should be doing.
Yeah.
And, things are just going to happen.
There's just too many people involved in a football game. When you got like 60 guys on both teams, 60 plus, tackling each other, and it's pretty impossible. Like, none of the players want to wear face masks on the field. They should do that with the face mask. They could put like a little like shield up there. I think that could be a good idea. I'm sure that's been talked about, but yeah, because with like every other sport, it's like baseball's not really physical, and basketball did a great job with the bubble, but the bubble's not really feasible, I think, in the NFL, just because there's like so many different games happening at once and so many people. And then you got the staff and like, yeah, it's a lot. And, not everyone's wearing masks all the time.
Yeah, and like on that basketball conversation, they didn't have any fans inside the bubble really. So now they're like, oh well, we have to start the season by January or February, or else teams may start going under, which is just mind-boggling to think about.
Yeah. What
And
team did?
it's just frustrating because like the money part is important. And some people will be like, oh well, people are in it for the greed, people will do it because of that. But it's like, well, yeah, they need the money to be able to operate. So that's why the NFL is playing right now. And plus they want to keep their fans happy. Like I'm sure that fans are happy that on Sundays they're still able to turn the TV on and have a distraction from having to hear about all the news. So
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, I know it's important for our society too. Um, yeah, and I think, yeah, I really seeing it with baseball. Like, I think like the Tampa Bay Rays are kind of bringing us all together in kind of a weird way, and just like everyone's hated the Astros, so that's cool. Um, but yeah, I know money is like a big deal. Have they like announced I like the future date for the 2021 NBA season? Are they thinking
I think,
January
well,
1st?
I know for both them and the NHL, they're going to target to come back on January 1st.
Okay, but then you gotta do like
Uh,
training camp in December,
yeah.
so that gives them like October and then November off, which isn't a lot, but mm. But then like teams that like weren't in the bubble like haven't played in like 6 months,
Yeah.
so that's tough on them too.
Yeah, I think they were doing something where they were like offering them to do voluntary workouts in September. I
Oh, really?
don't know if there's been really anything else really said about that but I know that that was a choice that they were given.
Hmm. Yeah. For those, what was it like? Was that like 22 or 20 teams in the bubble?
There were 22 for the NBA.
Yeah. It's like those 8 teams that weren't invited are like they're going to be at a huge disadvantage financially. Like
Yeah.
no TV revenue. Like the Lakers were still making money with sort of the Nuggets. They're still making money without fans because they still get the TV revenue. Um, yeah, winning a championship is always important. Um, Kind of anticlimactic with no fans or anything, but um, the NBA still did a good job.
Yeah, same with hockey. Yeah, I mean they have 24 teams going to two hub cities, and it went as seamless as it could have gone.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, just went really well. It's great to see Tampa Bay obviously won the Stanley Cup in the NHL. A more polarizing team won in the NBA,
hmm.
and all their fans are very happy they won, and all their not fans, I won't say haters because I'm
Yeah,
not just a hater. I wanted the Nuggets to win that series.
yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, that's just how it goes sometimes when you have a big market team and a league that wants to see them win. And I'll leave it at
yeah. We won't open that can of worms, I guess.
yeah,
Old news now. Old news.
yeah.
Um,
And so speaking of the MLB playoffs and the Rays and Astros, Dodgers and Braves, what are your initial thoughts on these two championship series?
I think as like a with Colorado alliances, it's pretty easy to tell who you're rooting for. I don't love the Braves, but like I hate the Dodgers. So obviously, I think a lot of people are rooting for the Braves around here. And yeah, they're up 3-1. They just announced their starter for tonight too because they weren't sure. Shout out to Wright, I forget his first name last night,
Ian
but
Wright.
even right. Okay. Yeah. Kershaw's playoff narrative continues. Um, I saw he has like a 4.3 playoff ERA. I saw. Um, he's probably, I don't know, unless there's a game 7. He's probably not going to pitch again this series.
Well, yeah, if there's a game 7, Roberts is going to put him in there in the 8th inning and he's going to choke again.
Yeah. Yep. I'm excited for that. But
Yeah.
I'd see the Braves close it out tonight.
Same. Yeah, just Rays versus Braves after tonight.
Yeah. I can't keep my eyes off the Rays right now. They're like so fun to watch. I know like everyone's saying like like they don't have that like superstar type guy, but like I don't know. I've loved watching them. Like I don't know. Like I think they started up in like about an hour here. I'm excited for that. Just like that, bullpen led. Like gives me vibes like the 2014, 2015 Royals. Just having like dominant guy after dominant guy. But with the Royals, like you had like a specific closer and like with it like Holland, then they had Davis and then Herrera. Like the Rays, like they have like 10 different guys that can pitch in like any situation. It's just I don't know. It's fun to watch, even though they're not a great hitting team.
Think about that, Wade Davis being on a World Series winning team, and then just losing all that mojo because of Coors Field.
Yeah, they just
definitely hasn't happened in the past 2 seasons.
No, I mean the Rockies have seen this blueprint of building that dominant bullpen for like 5 years now, but they still just haven't been able to put it together. They tried. I mean, we spent like $100 million on like McGee, Shaw, Davis, but they just didn't pan out. But that's what's making the playoffs so fun to watch for me. I'm a big pitching and defense guy, so I love.
What do you think of this 3-batter minimum?
I think it's definitely not like good for the integrity of the game, but it's obviously good for pace of play, which I think is important. I hate those like 4.5 hour like games that just go on and on and on. But yeah, we've seen it like in this series too. Like Kevin Cash tried to put in like Aaron Loop, I think, against might have been like Tucker, but then Loop like hit him right away. The Astros had like 2 more ready after that, and you're just good and you're just forced to. So I think it's going to change. Develop from that one.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you just remember those like key moments in playoff games where like you bring a pitcher in to play a specific batter, and that may be like the narrative of the series when that happens.
There's a lot of for that, which is cool, but it's kind of taken away now.
Yeah.
But yeah, World Series starts next Tuesday. Hopefully Rays Braves. Yeah, we'll see though. I know the Rays have like Blake Snell starting today, I think. So
yeah,
game's pretty confident that they can put him away.
Yeah, against Valdez for the Astros. So hopefully the Rays can get some runs there early and take them out.
We'll see. We need more than just a Rose Arena to produce for the Rays.
Yeah.
We'll see though.
Yeah. Alrighty. So we covered Buffs. We didn't really talk about the Broncos yet. So the Broncos have had like the weirdest season ever. It hasn't been fun to watch, if I'm being honest. But like some will argue, like against Tennessee, we were right there at the end. Against Pittsburgh, we were right there at the end, sort of. But then we can't convert 3rd and 2 or 4th and 2.
Well, that Tennessee game, I'd argue that like we weren't supposed to be there because like their kicker missed like 3 field goals.
And then the Buccaneers was a clunker, I guess. That's what Vic Fangio likes to say. He likes to say those games are clunkers, so that was our clunker. And then against the Jets, we won 37-28.
I liked watching that game. Was fun. It's the Jets though, but I don't know. I know Ripon threw like 3 interceptions, but
It was two really bad teams. I don't know. I
it
mean,
was.
sure, I guess
Well,
that the back and forth was fun, but
and I liked I don't know. I just like how Ripon kind of, I don't know. I think he still had the composure, I think, throughout the game. We scored 37 points, so I'll take that. And that pass to Jerry Judy, that was fun. I like those big plays. Uh, yeah, it just sucks we have so many guys out.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I don't know. I just think that to see this team improve, Fangio's like situational game management has to improve,
Yeah,
and he's at a point where I think his job security, like his job is secure probably for at least another year due to the injuries.
uh,
Just because John Elway's basically GM for life at this point, since we don't have an owner to fire him.
yeah,
At least until September of next year.
yeah,
Probably longer than that though.
yeah,
So it's just frustrating because like I think we can improve, but I just don't trust John Elway.
well, yeah. I mean, just decisions he's made with, I guess, Fangio. Yeah, we were talking about this in class, I guess, the other day. Like, yeah, he's a quarterback, but yet the Broncos haven't been able to have a true quarterback since Manning. Just sucks that Locke got hurt. So I think he was like, the guy we were highest on. Um,
He's gonna be back this weekend.
yeah, yeah, well, that's good. That's a silver lining for the Broncos being delayed for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Uh, but also, like, I think Hamler's back this week too, right?
He
Uh,
should be.
or Lindsey's a question.
Lindsey's back. He's gonna play.
Okay, that's good. Um, yeah, I mean, he has the weapons around him now. Um, yeah, we just need to get our offensive line, together. And we're
Yeah.
good.
Well, Garrett Bowles is actually like the highest rated player on offense this
Oh,
season.
that says a lot. Okay. Um, maybe he'll stick around then.
We
uh,
will see. I mean, he still had like I think 2 holding penalties this season. I think both of them were actually declined though. So
okay.
he hasn't had that one really bad game yet. But I mean, we play the Chiefs here in a few weeks, so we'll see how he does against them.
If you have a noticeably bad game as an offensive lineman, like, I don't know.
He
It just
he did last year at home against the
like
Chiefs.
it's like hard to have a bad game as an offensive lineman. Like it's like not something like people like watch for, I guess.
Yeah.
If the narrative is about an offensive lineman, like you're doing something wrong. But
Yeah.
I guess he's better this year, so it's good.
Yeah. Taking a few steps. He's like, well, Wade Davis is gone now, so now there's no one to shadow him as far as the lowercase goat of Denver sports anymore. So
Plumlee.
yeah,
I feel like Plumlee.
I don't know. I feel like Garrett Bowles is higher on that list than Plumlee for now.
Yeah. Now it's just on the GMs. Like Jeff Bridich, kind of he fits that role, I guess.
Yeah, Jeff Bridich is the guy that everyone wants to see gone with the Rockies. I mean, just hasn't cut it.
We'd
I
have
mean,
2 playoff years. We'll take that. But
yeah, but what are we gonna do in free agency this year?
nothing.
Yeah, and
No.
then we're gonna trade Nolan
Yeah.
at the start mid-season.
Yeah.
And I have to
Trades aren't fair.
take this down,
No,
and then British will be gone at the end of next
we'll see.
year.
Yeah. Rockies still don't have the best, resume with making trades either.
Yeah,
School trade didn't really do anything. Jimenez trade, nothing. But yeah, we'll see.
yeah,
2021's not looking good for at least the Rockies, but it's okay.
it's okay. Everything will be okay. That's the message that we want people to take from this podcast today.
The Rays can do it, the Rockies can, I think.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yep. All righty. Well, Jack, do you have anything else to add today?
Just keep watching the Rays and just stay healthy out there.
For sure. Yeah, everyone stay safe and well, and thank you again for listening to Jack and the Bean Talk or Bean and Jack podcast.
Jack and the
Are we
Bean
still?
Talk.
Yeah, we're still calling ourselves Jack and the Bean Talk. Okay.
Peace out.
Peace out, everybody.